Hey guys, Campy here, and I'm reviewing the Sabrent 2.5 inch hard drive enclosure with USB. Alright guys, hey, Campy here, and again, another quick review on some electronics that I had just purchased, always related to doing my videos and whatnot, and always trying to add memory. So I had an extra hard drive, internal hard drive, and as an example, right here. So there's a internal hard drive to a laptop computer. I had an extra one, and I decided that I was going to purchase another case for it. When I originally reviewed some months back, almost a year ago, I had a, which you'll see up here in the corner, is a Oracle. I originally purchased two of these cases of an Oracle 2139C3 2.5 inch USB-C to USB 3 SATA enclosures, and worked out wonderfully. Did a quick review. I used the other one. I used the other case in here. I had an SSD. In this one I have a 750 gig hard drive, and the reason why I mentioned the 750 is this is my extra hard drive. So I did some benchmark testing on this, and this is why I've kind of made the decision that I've used this 750 in here. This is my extra hard drive that I found that I was talking about. So going back over here to this hard drive, this is my backup hard drive. This is the one that I use to back up my computer to, and it used to be in this case. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. So here's the review. Here's what we're talking about. We've got this case, and it's slightly open, so it's easier for me to use. But this is the Sabrent ec-uasp 2.5 inch USB 3 to USB 3 enclosure, SATA enclosure. So if you can see here, here's the original cable that came with it. Now I will tell you this, at the purchase of this box, I have not done the opening on this, but this case right here basically came as you see here. Now this foam block is actually a little bit loose, but it kind of sticks there via static. But this is what came in the box with an instruction manual, but basically I didn't expect this cable. Now the reason why I say that is when I first purchased the enclosures and this Oracle right here, this was about $16 when I first purchased it about a year ago. $16. I found this guy $8, and with $8 came with the cable. Now don't get me wrong, this guy was $16 also came with the cable, but this guy came with a cable, and I thought, well, okay, that's really good, not a problem, really cheap, $8, go ahead, we'll throw the hard drive in there and let it go to town and see what happens. So just for your review, this is how simple it is, right? So there's, as I said, this foam block moves around. There are little teeth right along here. They will fit in these little notches right here. So what you'll do is you'll take the connecting portion of the hard drive and slide it into this section right here. And again, it'll be a slight angle. You'll slide in till it snaps in, give it a little push, and she'll pop right in. And what's nice is right back here in this corner, you probably can't see it very well, is a small foam block that keeps a little bit of pressure on this drive. So with this foam block here, you'll take this guy, and one thing you'll make sure is that the light bay, it's not a light, it's just a window, but there's a light here. So you'll find the slots, slot and slot, give her a little push down, make sure she's in place, and then slide her forward until you heard that snap. That's it, she's all good to go. You plug in your cable. Bet you I couldn't have done that again on the single shot. Now what's really interesting on here, which I didn't think that was really all that important, but, and I still don't really, is there's an on and off switch. Generally speaking, you eject your hard drives, or in some cases you just go, I'm done. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. But that's basically the cable, the box, the setup, and everything. So the reason why I switched this 750 to put it into this case, because I originally had it in here and put my backup in here, was I found something a little bit interesting in my speed test review that I ran on my computer. Something that kind of surprised me. And I think that may answer the reason why this is $8, this is $16. Here, and you can see my crazy mug. I'm all sweaty and oily. I'm reviewing the Oracle case that I purchased a year ago, I believe. September 10th, yeah. Almost a year ago. And currently this Oracle case I have is holding my SSD and was holding my 500 gig backup. And as you saw, that I swapped it for the 750 gig for a reason which I will explain here in a second. But first and foremost, wanted to show you that currently the case for the Sabrent 2.5-inch SATA to USB 3 tool-free external hard drive enclosure optimized for SSD supports UASP SATA 3 black. Its model number is ec-uasp. That's basically what I have. It's got a pretty good 4.3 out of 5 stars rating on it, and it's currently sitting at $8.99. That's what I paid for a couple of weeks ago. There's your on and off switch, which I find no real reason that it needs to be on there. Could have saved maybe a couple more cents and sold it cheaper, and or could have put a few more, I don't know, chips on the board to allow it to read and write a little bit faster. And the reason why I say that is, let me show you. So I downloaded this just to do this test because I didn't do it with the Oracle, but I did it with the Sabrent here. I plugged it in, ran the test, started it, and I let it, what it does is it writes for about, it's a 5 gig file. It writes for about 8 seconds, and then it reads for about 8 seconds, and then it just starts all over again. It goes back and forth. So I let these cycle at least 3 times, and as they go through and they cycle each time, they tend to get a little bit faster. So by the time I got to the 3rd write and read, I stopped it. And all you got to do is hit the stop button, boom, right there, it stops it. And it's a start button, so it says stop after. Nice little reference here related to what systems like ProRes, Cinema, and 10-bit. Also, basically the video file sizes, all the way up to 2K, 2160, obviously. There's ProRes, Cinema, and 10-bit, and also read and write. I believe this is in frames per second. So that's obviously writing and reading on the fly as you go through the system. So nonetheless, with me not being a total expert, what I do know, and could be megabits per second, but I do know this is 26.9 megabits per second and 30.8 megabits per second. And then if you go and look at this, here is the same run. And forgive this 450, it was supposed to be 750. And this is the 750 gigabyte hard drive in the Sabrent drive box enclosure. And this is the same, I swapped it out, 750 gig hard drive in the Oracle. And you can see here, it's a phenomenal difference. 26.9 write, 104 write, 30.8 read, 104 read. You can also see the numbers are significantly different as you go through this down here. While it's not extraordinarily quick, the differences are quite a bit. Now don't get me wrong, I don't know if it's related to any other specifics in the system or whatnot, but basically I try to make it as bare bones as possible. Left nothing running in the background. Didn't do any system checks or any type of other processes while I ran both of these. Just literally put it in the Oracle case over here, ran the test, and then I put it into the Sabrent and then ran the test. That's it. Let them cycle 3 times each, and here's the numbers that you get. I'll also give you kind of a reference here, is if you go and look at this, here is my SSD. So I ran my SSD, which is a single terabyte SSD, and I ran it in the Oracle case, and it was 371 and 422. So you can see, comparatively speaking, it's significantly different, but we know that the SSDs just are rockets. You know, they're fast. Of course, if you look in this dial here, it's not really showing a significant number, but the point is it's quite a bit faster than the standard drives, but it's a great deal faster than this Sabrent drive. Again, moving further, I went and did a test on my internal hard drive on my computer, and just phenomenally fast, just unbelievably fast. Okay, so just throwing this out real quick and looking at this, if we go back to the main screen here, is you got your Sabrent and you got your Oracle, and currently the Oracle is $16.99, the Sabrent is $8.99. I think it has to do with the board built into the drive itself. Don't know exactly what the details are and the differences are, but other than here's your numbers, right? It is what it is. And don't misunderstand, I ran the 500 gig hard drive, I ran other hard drives that I've had in the test just to verify, and it just comes out the same. They're all basically the same test, is based on the casing that you put the hard drives into. So I will then further give my opinion on related to the Sabrent case. All right, so as you saw in the bench test with this hard drive that's inside this Oracle enclosure, this hard drive was placed inside this container and inside this container, and I ran the bench test, and you saw the results before. Now, the final review and result of this guy right here is, in my opinion, is satisfactory. I mean by satisfactory is that I did not purchase this to necessarily put a SSD drive in there. I use it honestly for a spinning standard internal hard drive, basically this guy, or my backup, and that was my main intent. If I was looking for speed transfer, I'd probably have to give it more of a negative review, but currently as it stands right now, I'm going to give it a satisfactory review, because all I need it for is an enclosure, simple enclosure that's holding a hard drive to make a useful hard drive that I can plug to my computer and do some backup data on. So as it stands, I give it a standard-ish thumbs up, kind of, because I'm not using it for fast data transfer, but if I was, I'd probably give it more of a negative review. I like it, it works, it's simple, and it's got a nice little, pretty little blue light on here. Once again, Campy, talking about electronics review, and I just want to all say, peace.
I'm